iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. Ghana won, Bafana Bafana nil. We're not going to the World Cup in Qatar. In fact, we've only qualified for 2 World Cups, 1998 in France, 2002 Korea and Japan. 2010 we hosted. In 2012, around the year 2012, we were introduced to something beautiful and wonderful in theory. It was called Vision 2022. Now, there were 3 World Cups that were planned around that document. The idea was that we were going to qualify for the 2014 World Cup, 2018 World Cup, and the 2022 World Cup. The grand ambition of that is that on the 2022 World Cup, we were going to be at least in the knockout phase. One of the specifics, the meat within that content was that Bafana Bafana in every tournament, African Cup of Nations, they become at least number 3 expectation. So you get to the semi-finals of every African Cup of Nations in the years between 2012 and 2022. At least in the World Cup, you qualify and get out of the group stages, something we've never been able to do. Hugo Broos was employed at some point this year, 2021, because whilst Vision 2022 was good in theory, it was a pathetic failure. You look at the World Cup, the African Cup of Nations that we didn't qualify for. 2015, I think we were there. 2017, we were not there. 2019, we were there. There was no World Cup in that period. 2014, 2018, 2022 that we qualified for. So here we are then. That's why you are being pushed with the propaganda, Hugo Broos. You judge for yourself what you see on the field. Makhanya, what did you make of the game? We felt Ghana was there for the taking. You satisfied with the performance, Amajita?
Yeah, greetings to viewership, colleague.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, not satisfied in the performance. The approach, the tactics on the day, I felt good about tactics. I mean, I want pressure. You going there, I want pressure into it. It's only a draw or a win, then you are through. But I want pressure. You go to Melopume because of some situation. I mean, yes, the only thing that they had, it was the passion that they had, the fight that they showed. But apart from that, it was a team that it was there for a taking. Because of I watched Nami, it kind of from since my qualifiers up until now. But you. From last game here against Ethiopia, we thought Ghana was there for the taking, and if we were to qualify for maybe the next round, it was going to be an easy road. But for Ghana, we're not there. But you check our tactics that were deployed today. I mean, pressure. You've got. You're playing with normal 4 defenders, you're playing with 4 midfielders, you're playing with 2 strikers up front, which was an okay formation. But what we need to do is to be composed on the ball, keep the ball, because of they have to do the chasing. Yeah. Keep the ball, because of at some point, I was even complaining with Mundo Iwan. I mean, Jordan Ayew was alone up front, but to press up by 5, including the keeper. I mean, Ronweni, right back, left back, center backs, plus no, pete foot, but he's pressing them alone, and still they give away position. Unnecessary so, because of I felt it's a game whereby Ghana needed to do the chasing, not us doing the chasing. Let them come at us so that at least we can get those openings, so that we use element of speed, especially from our side. Because of we had Litswalo, maybe because of once Fagala Wanda we were solely going to depend with speed, which is expose our Ghanaians for a pace. But when it comes to physical contact, then it meant that we're going to come second best. Because if you look at the post wave of my text, and which we survived, and then came a moment of penalty. I mean, Ikona, Ipola Liazo, Victor Lutswalo. I mean, how at good level, how do you not hate the ball? I mean, it was an easy ball to hit, so that clear the danger. Because of being a melang is if if you penalty for a penalty code. Because of Lizzie Kandalake, while Lizzie Kanda, then all of a sudden to records to a player a little bit of a touch, then a penalty that was not supposed to be given. Then from Lapo, then the game went dead. the game went dead because of there was not much of maybe shots or opportunities that were created. Only Jama situation whereby Laut being a good left, Unyuko Mobi was going past Laut Unyuko Mobi, but nothing happened after that. So it became a situation with the moment a penalty defined a game. That was the talking point.
Yeah, I think there was a point where, unfortunately, you can't, no matter how good you are as a coach, if you play the game against Zimbabwe on Thursday and your emphasis in terms of playing was every third touch of the ball must be a long ball. So you play it to me, I'll play it to him, then it's a long ball. So there was a drastic change that he tried to do today, which is try and keep the ball. But unfortunately, it is in direct conflict in the heads of the players, in the head from what they were used to be told ever since he came in. I think that today my heart was beating a little bit lighter, and I was like, wow, okay, let them try to play. What was the reason why they couldn't play to its fullest and logical conclusion? Because if Bebedlala and even got into the midfield combination, I think they could have been able to play.
Yeah, we highlighted Lentole, I think, against Zimbabwe, and everybody thought maybe we are up against our result, because of everybody looks at our result, but they don't look at play holistically. What went through play, how did you play? Because of magic, you wanna try and introduce something new, which I say yes, where else, but most of the time, so which say direct, you feel as much as maybe you wanted to score more goals, but I mean you don't just get a ball from a mover where you direct to score. I mean then it means you losing momentum, and whenever you try so you build up and you wanna try introduce a build up. I mean keeping the ball is one format also of defending. So for one grounding, once you keep it, the longer you keep it, the better for you, and also the better the confidence of the players. You felt when it was needed, because of on Wednesday against Zimbabwe, even though maybe he was trying to be direct in terms of maybe getting more goals, so that at least he doesn't find himself with a situation. Yeah, so it meant to our players mind they are being introduced to something new, which has be continuity, because it's not something that we see as your as a coach as we direct because of also you kind of look at the quality maybe in terms of selection to have those players that are comfortable in keeping the ball. My answer, no, you don't have those kind of players maybe for those kind of situation. That is why sometimes I still feel from day one selection, even though people were upfront on my result, but not checking with the selection when we come to this kind of situation to have enough players and experience to take us through to a situation. All it needed the game, it was a matter of experience whereby you know how to keep the ball. Because of sometimes an instinct, natural instinct, players that they have because of once you bowler, then you stand a better chance of not conceding. So, but you look at the situation, and I mean, sitting only a point, we need to keep the ball better. But were we exposed to this kind of situation? The answer is no.
Yeah. Could you argue that this is the best combination of 11 human beings that play professional football in South Africa? Were these players that we've been seeing in these qualifiers the best selection of 11 human beings who play professional football in South Africa, or are South Africans playing abroad?
The answer is still no. Because of you look at my personals that were there. Yeah, people they've been making a statement we've always failed in our players that are experienced or because of it's we national team. I mean the short stint that he had, he needed also to try and maybe try to qualify, which maybe it's not something we mandate qualify. But one thing that I know about the national team is try and select the best players that we have in the country, so that at least you stand a better chance. Because of now, I still feel good to go senior national team. It's cut so build as because of now you have less time and more players, and also you needed also. I think I still feel good maybe maybe Kakawa players waiting. I still feel no good. It doesn't consult even maybe even na bench. Magahlelu uhlala na lengonya yakhe baba ithu esayidini uhelmenu lapha esayidini. So that is why it is sometimes selecting a coach, and also maybe selecting a coach as an assistant yangaphandle, then it becomes a situation ukuthi manje is he going to have a better understanding of our players wethu, which is something which I felt ukuthi it's something which in a year's failure in terms of our selection, player selection were very poor. But even though go coach ukuthi ngawo lama player lawo are poor, not per se poor futhi ithi ngayibekile ngaleyo ndlela, but akule level leyo you still have ama players that are way above lama players lawo whom you didn't select because of much. Once you start putting or explaining ama certain sentiments ukuthi I don't want to select old players, and yet we see old players more because of you check out Umshishi is the best player good DSTV Premiership. Victor Lutsalo is doing well also with DSTV Premiership. But manje why I comparison myself cala sokuba indaba age when it comes to the place of as a national team coach, you select the best players in the country and try to build around those players so that at least when they leave they've left you with something, or the younger generation na something over. That's what it takes to build a good national team. Ngoba ngeke ufike uyangena you want to change everything because of all he knew ama players bekawe khosafa. But ask around, that is why it's still a question ukuthi coach I've heard ama stories ukuthi coach he doesn't want to report na kuma coaches to local. Most of the time, when there's a communication, there's a problem in communication, I'm loads in terms of our training session, because of the very same people, these are the very same people that are about because of our players, our manager able day in, day out. So he needs to know what is it, what best or what quality do we have in the country. So which is something now I feel we fail. So mhlambe going forward he'll get a better understanding. Maybe our players for 6 years, so maybe he'll get a better understanding of my players and my personnel like South Africa. If we are to build a national team or a team maybe is over strong going forward, he needs to do that. He needs to engage our coaches, about local, and get an understanding of my players.
I just wanted to make a quick point that I understand that someone who was born in the year 2000 is 21 years old. And they were too young to understand the things that have been happening in this country for a very long time. In the year 1998, a man by the name of Clive Barker qualified Bafana Bafana in 1997 to the 1998 World Cup in France. Out of self-hate or whatever the case is, poor leadership, he was not there to take the team to France. We instead, Safumana Umdu, Philip Trozier, South African football, no consultation, no respect for any South African coaches. He took us there and we lost the matches, blah, 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 blah. In fact, the ones that we drew, it was just really because Upene McCarthy was good or Uchon Patlet was good against Saudi Arabia. In 2009, Carlos Alberto Pereira left the country seeing that he's not going to be able to do anything with our kind of players, seeing how poor, he was being paid 1.5 million per month. But he realized World Cup, and he had won a World Cup with Brazil. He then recommends his best friend. Check this out. Out 1 million. Yes, as a sponsor. And we took him. And if you read Teko Modisa's book, The Curse of Teko, you understand how poor that coach was. Couldn't speak English. It was just an expense from our side, -1 million, to not improve us. Yeah, but so I'm saying this to say that this is not the first time we're having these challenges with foreign coaches, and each time we're not learning. The same with Hugo Bros. If we're going to be paying him the amount of money that we're paying him, we should be learning something from him. Ted Dimitru was from Romania. He came here, he improved us. He won league titles, and he created coaches. He created documents for how the game should be played in the South African context. Last question from me to you. You have trust. I mean, you pointed out to his contract situation, and I think you are on the right track there. They may not have the appetite to eliminate him as a coach. Do you have trust, Tuguti? For the first time in our history, we have a foreign coach who will improve us in the long run.
Yeah, I think we need to put systems in place. Once the systems are not in place, so you can't cut corners, especially in national team, whereby we're supposed to be progressing and getting a result. We're still talking about building. So I mean, once the day coach Uti is from outside and he wants the best for us as a nation, Abuya, sit down with our coaches, outline his plan. Sit down a coach under 17, sit down a coach under 20, sit down a coach under 23, outline his plans within a norma ahamba. He's leaving us with something which is something which I feel which he still need to revisit and do it. Whether with our coach on a problem with our coach of one thing the only thing I liked about him which is got a strong personality whereby now when I select abantu abangasi right abaselector akhona ukubadlalisa bayenzakale lento eyenzakele. And so I still feel I mean, with proper guidance and proper understanding, maybe he can lead us to somewhere. You check it, his track record. He's a coach who's very experienced in terms of party. Into issue, he can be a coach who we have figure when Zalento Yenzayo, a Conin Laki, Nomganaki, then from Lapo they live. I mean, Joab Begile from Carlos Alberto Pereira Santana, we got the same road deal, especially after paying him so much. Next. So still, are we continuing with the same mentality? Now Hugo Pros Unumganake, Uzoshumganake, Ahambe, then Sisale Tina Futi, Sofuna no Munyu coach. It's something with the very same coaches. I feel with he's got a bit of respecting and coaches. He fought against one coaches. Also, you might check with the very same coaches. Did it lead to him not selecting players at certain teams? Yeah, I'm told. If I fought with you, why should I select my players? So you don't know what was it the situation? I'll rather maybe select my players and select. I won't get into alteration. My coaches. I mean, if you are a national team coach, you need to know what you need to have an explanation. My players, I was a reporter from a campaign. You need to know what is it that they were doing. We've got a program that is why it's a bit of it is respect. Once when my players be also are active with program, we have figure when la power is a program different or intensive. A player abuya email. The coaches don't get a proper report. Then it becomes a problem. Manje, if you are not able to explain to Labantu Wabolegi, look represent the country, right, you need to keep up in the program. So which is something which I still feel which he need to revisit to coach Magusa or Shalala. By the way, but I'm kept up for 6 years. 6 years una 70, una 60, 79? 69. Una 69 coach. So it means Uzo Vanga ana 70, 75. So Uzo Vanga 75 for coach Ushiana. At some point the very same coaches I'm homesick, I wanna go back home. But Ushiangan. That is why it's a continuity. But as is the mouth to as a highlight. I want to by Bonella light we still repeating the same mistakes. They are still repeating the same mistakes of we begin foot rightfully so from Good Vision 2022. It's been a serious failure because of the systems are not in place. It's wrong. Bringing in also abantu ngoba the mawubheka abantu they always check ama result akhe abe amahle ngoba you got ama result masicala but you look at ingredient mina ngikhala ukuthi you need to be fulfilled mawubheka ibhola, you need to be satisfied with what you are watching, ungavela ubheka ibhola and look at ama results. So that is why we trying to teach abantu ukuthi asibheke ibhola ngelihlo el different ukuthi as much as kukoriwe how did the goal happen? Ngavele kube goal and we get happy about our results. So for continuity's sake, if ever it does stay, let him have the situation whereby everybody in the country knows what is it that he is trying to do, so that magahamba or maga decide homesick. Sina something is esiqhubeka ngayo ngoba manje uyoshiya again futhi so builder futhi.
I can bet you my last 100,000 or my last million in 12-15 years time we will be where we are now, and those generations abantwana abazalwe ngo-2015 will be fighting us about pointing those things out, because of course history is a way of viciously repeating itself, and those who are sober to observe it and retell it are always thrown with stones. iDiskiTV, Diski Times, and World Sports Betting. Thank you very much for watching.